Lungisi, thanks very much for joining us. This is a terrible, shocking story. Tell us what happened in court today.
A good evening to you, Peter, in studio, as well as to our viewers at home. Yes, the man did appear inside the Verulam Magistrate Court, where scores of community members had come in calling for the man to be denied bail. Like you mentioned earlier on, that thousands of them, in fact hundreds rather, had packed the... Sorry, Peter, unfortunately I can no longer hear you in studio.
All right, so just carry on if you can hear me, just if you can hear anything. Just continue to tell us a little bit about what happened and what happens next.
Yebo. Yes. Well, basically what happened, well, Peter, just before we continue, let's just give you a brief gist of the story. What happened is that 5 years ago, the child, basically the 15-year-old, lost her mother. At that time they were living in Johannesburg, and that time she was just 10 years old, but now she's 15 years old. When the mother died, the child was kept in the care of her father. The child also alleges that it was then when she was raped, abused, tortured, and also made to prostitutes. This is what, however, was heard in court today. But we are also told that the man will be kept in police custody because he has been severely bruised and was injured when the community took the law into their own hands.
All right, so what's the next proceedings with this? What has the community been saying? They were outside court today. We saw some of the placards that they were raising. They must be happy that he's being kept in custody.
Yes, of course, Peter, they are very, very happy. In fact, most of them were very, very jovial. But however, some of them are still fuming, saying that the man should not be allowed bail. He should not be back into the community. We spoke to one of the neighbors who allegedly saw everything during the ordeal, whereby when the man was actually caught by community members. What he basically told us is that the man was a man who was known into the community of Neptune in Verulam. But one evening, one of the neighbors heard screams, and when they investigated, they saw the 15-year-old girl lying down on the floor, saying that the man was abusing him. This, however, led to the community taking the law into their own hands. And of course, as you mentioned earlier on, the man was arrested and taken in by the police for questioning. However, he was also sent at the Osindisweni Hospital, which is also near Verulam. And a few hours later, after being in hospital, the man is said to have escaped and made his way into Phoenix. He was, however, caught and nabbed by the police and eventually arrested. And of course, like you mentioned earlier on, that the man also appeared in court today. Yes, but yes, community members are fuming and they want him to remain behind bars.
So did I get you right where you said that he actually escaped from police custody after he was taken to hospital? Because that would be an additional charge, wouldn't it?
Yes, he did escape from... yes, of course, it would be an additional charge. Like you mentioned earlier on, he did escape from prison. Now, from the hospital. Now, what makes this matter very, very interesting, his investigating officer had told the authorities that the man was nabbed, sent to hospital. But we found out that today that the investigating officer had given a false testimony. So these events will unveil when the man also appears back in court again.
All right, so okay, Mlungisi, we're going to leave it there for the time being, and we'll keep you updated on that very sad story about this child who was allegedly abused by her stepfather from the age of 10 and is now 15, so 5 years under this man's care, and it's been an abusive relationship, and assault and rape are the allegations laid against him. The community taking matters into their own hands, beating up this suspect who tried to escape from police custody from hospital. But we'll have more for you after this, and we'll look at what's been happening at Eskom today.